Oh my goodness. There is a beige box in front of me. I do wonder what this beige box is. Well, it's beige, so it must be old. Huh? Hewlett-Packard. I don't think HP's made a beige box anytime soon. It's a NetServer E60. But something's out of place here. A lot of things are out of place here. Just a bit. But what does the CPU sticker say? Go all the way down here, it says Pentium 2. So, okay. Well, then what's on the back? What does it have for ports in the back? Oh, that doesn't look OEM. And that all certainly doesn't look OEM. Oh no. DVI? In olden times? And HDMI? They had HDMI in 1998? Whoa! And obviously, there must be a really powerful graphics card in here. Probably a Rage 128, right? Right? And a Sound Blaster 16, or a Creative ES 1371, or something? And it's got USB ports. Obviously. It's from 1998, so they've got to be 1.1, right? Okay. Let's drop the act. This is the case from an HP NetServer E60. This case I got for about the equivalent of $5. I originally picked up a no-name beige box case out of a computer store locally that they said, oh, we're having a computer case sale and cartridge sale and all that stuff, and I was looking for specific ink, and I said, okay, I'll go over there for the ink and see what the deal is with the cases. So they had this very weird styled ATX board that was interesting, but it didn't have a standard ATX power supply spot, and there was no way to modify it to accept one. So I said, okay, screw that. I called up my buddy that deals in scrap metal. I said, okay, do you have any good cases with their case on them still and all that stuff? You haven't pulled apart yet? And he's like, oh yeah, come on over. And I traded him that case for this case. This HP NetServer was doomed from the start to become the project box that you see it as it is today. When I received note that there was a beige box HP sitting in his garage that I could come and take the stuff out of, I had no idea noticed that there was actually burn marks all over the power supply leads and the motherboard and all that stuff, and on a few other components from the same lot of stuff that had come through his entire operation he has going on in his garage. What turned out was the person that he got these from had their business struck by lightning, and this computer alongside, well, what it used to be, alongside a few other modern machines, did not survive the lightning strike because the guy didn't know what the hell a power strip was. He had everything just plugged straight into the wall. So, of course, everything kind of just fried on him. And everything in the house of the guy next to him also, well, the house next to the business also perished as well. So, that leads us to here. What you see before you is the work of quite a few weeks and moving parts around and a few other things, and it's still not totally done. There is a motherboard and a heatsink on the way to replace the ones inside this, but more on that later. For now, let's get into this and just get it all running and show you what it's made of. And we're going to just kind of skip over me fiddling the case off because it's one whole shell, as most cases from the 90s were. They had not yet realized that, oh, you can just put a case cover side on and make it a hell of a lot easier. No, we're just going to make it this shell thing because it's what we have. So, without further ado, and now we are inside. Actually, this is the second time attempting to do this video, because between the time that I had this cover off and had gone at least halfway through the segment that I wanted to make with all of this going in through, the battery died, and I don't want to have a second jump cut here right in the middle of me talking. So, we're going to do this again. This entire baffle air guide here was originally the air guide for the two Pentium 2 400s that this originally came with, as stated by the model right here, stating it's a NetServer E60 P2400. So, aside from that, there's no real date code on the machine that I could have grabbed to have told when this machine was manufactured, but I do know when the case was made. It was made April of 1999, and the best way to tell that is to actually look on the inside of your plastic cover. There's usually a date code molded into the plastic there. For this, it would be 04 on the left, or 4 on the left, and 99 on the right to signify April of 1999. There's also some information here stating what plastic type it is, what revision it is, where it was made, and the HP part number at the top. So I'm going to leave that off because I want to show actually what's underneath the front cover. I didn't actually get to that in the last part of the video I tried to shoot of this. So I'm going to take the air guide cover off. You're going to see why I have that in here. There is an Intel stock cooler in here, and this was a-okay with the CPU that was in here originally, but that is why I have a heatsink on order for when I get the board replaced. Currently, this is an i5-2500K. Thank you, Dad. And there are two sticks of 4 gig apiece, DDR3-1333 Crucial Ballistics Tactical RAM. Both the i5 and the RAM came out of my father's old build that he had. He just recently upgraded to Broadwell, so he is sitting high and mighty right now. I think he upgraded to Broadwell. He might have actually upgraded to Haswell. I'm not exactly sure. But I think he upgraded to Haswell, and he said, okay, here, you can have these. I just parted out the machine, and I sold the old one back to Shuttle. Okay, whatever. Because he's a, he likes his Shuttle machines, and I don't blame him. They are nice machines, but there are some differences in what I like and what he likes that I can't actually really argue about it with him. I just don't like the entire design of having no fans in the front of the case to cool the hard drives, which is okay because he's now moved to an SSD, but my statement still stands. There's no airflow for the hard drive at all. The hard drives cook, and then they die. And that is why you should always have an SSD, one of those now. But I digress. There's a couple other things in here that stands it apart from the original. The fan on the back is actually a 3-pin 92mm Nidec Beta V fan from a Dell. Yes, those crappy black and like purple black. They're supposed to be a different shade of gray sort of Dell boxes that they sold back around 2002 to 2005 or 2004 before they went to the unified BTX design. The ATX style looking ones with the green shroud over the heatsink, and they were all really crap, and they were built to a price and all that crap. Yeah, it came from one of those, because these fans are pretty much indestructible, and the only good thing that you can get out of a Dell now. 3 pins goes underneath the CPU power, which you cannot see in here because it's dark as hell. Where is, a flashlight! Another Christmas present from my third grandma. So, yes, my stepmother's mother gave me a very nice, and I like this a whole lot, LED flashlight for Christmas. Very, very nice. So you can see up there the CPU power going straight in, and then you have over in here, you can see where the EPS 12 volt connector on the same line actually tucks behind the one corner of the board there. With the new board, it's actually EPS 12 volt on the board, I think, so I'm not going to have any sort of problem there. I'll just take that end and I'll zip tie it to the line someplace down the line, pretty much. See some other things over here, we'll talk about that in a little bit. You can also see that there's something interesting happening up here. There is a BFG logo on that fan grill there. Yes, this is a BFG EX Series 1000 watt power supply. The reasoning behind this is, well, it was free. So, yeah, I had it on hand already. So what I had to do here was I actually had to take a Sawzall and cut a piece of the metal out so that the power supply can breathe. And then, as you saw in the back earlier, there is actually some Sawzall hacking into the back case here, and some screws, and it's really nasty looking up there and whatever. There were a couple other things that I had to do as well, and I accidentally cut this a little too far over, and I got rid of the lip that I wanted to keep with the cable guide there because I wanted to do something with that, but whatever, screw it. All's well that ends well. Up here in the 5 1/4 inch bays, we have a 500 gig hard drive up top that is actually currently the boot drive, and that is because I am trying to find time to take the stuff that's on there and move it to a hidden hard drive all the way down in here. There is a little tiny Western Digital Scorpio Black hiding down there in the drive cage inside a 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch adapter, which is made by Rosewell, or made by someone else for Rosewell, and it has a thermal pad underneath the hard drive too, so it stays really cool, like just a few degrees over ambient at all times. What the hell was that? Was that this? Yeah, it was this. Wow. And that's hiding down there, but then you get over here and you see, oh, well, now I can see why you chose this power supply. Well, yes, there is a Radeon HD 6970 in here that was given to me. It came out of a mining rig of some manner, be it Dogecoin or Bitcoin, I have no clue. And it has lived a hard life. On the way over here from Wisconsin, from my friend, thank you very much, by the way, guy, there is a, you can see a bead of super glue going along here because the shroud had fallen off during shipping. Yay! So I just kind of left it off there while I was cleaning it. I cleaned up all the stuff. I made sure all the RAM sinks were properly, like, siliconed up, or not silicone, I'm sorry, thermal padded up. I made sure the thermal pads were in good shape. I repasted the GPU, and everything seems hunky-dory. So I'm not worried about this going out anytime soon. However, it has lived a hard life, and I'm not expecting the world from it. Underneath that, you can see that there's a Creative X-Fi, Sound Blaster X-Fi of some manner. I believe this is the Dell version, actually. It's PCI Express version. And wait until you see this. Yes, that's right. I'm going to flip up the LCD here so I can actually see what I'm pointing at. And you can see there is actually a copper plate that is being... it's just kind of super glued there onto a thick shim that is on the main chipset. Now, the reasoning behind all of this here is because the Creative chips that are on the Sound Blasters, the main controller chip that does everything, likes to get hot. So the one way around this is to actually give it a heatsink. And this one, being in a Dell, did not originally come with a heatsink because Dell doesn't do that. They wanted to save a couple bucks when they ordered the machine from Foxconn. So they just leave it off. And there's hookups up here for HD audio or something, and you can tell it to do whatever. And there's your normal set of compliant compliant colored adapters on the back, and your digital in and out, all that stuff, your fiber in and out, whatever you want to call it. And you can see right there it does say HD 6970. You can see some wear on the labeling, whatever, it works. The USB ports down here is provided by a USB bracket of some manner with some wires going to two of the USB headers on the board here. Whatever, that's great. There's a third one there that actually goes to the header up front that has the 4 USB ports via a hub, and it gets power through the power supply through a floppy connector. And then there's a not hooked up yet FireWire cable that is going to get hooked up when I decide, okay, I need FireWire now, and pop a FireWire card of some manner in here, unless I can find a sound card now that has a FireWire cable like my Audigy 2 ZS's have. Aside from the rest of this, I think that's about it for the inside of this. There's otherwise just a couple more hard drives. There's a 2 terabyte Hitachi Ultrastar down here, and the one above it is a 500 gig Caviar Blue. your standard caviar blue. Nothing all too special. It's a hard drive. And the 2 terabyte I also acquired from my dad. He just kind of threw it in, and I had no idea who was going to do it. So again, thank you, Dad, if you are watching this at some point in the near future. Excuse me. And that's about that. I'm going to make an update video on this once I get the other board in, and I'm going to see how that plays out. There shouldn't be all too many issues just swapping the board out, aside from Windows having some activation stuff it's going to have to do, and some other crap, and, you know, usual crap that happens with that. Otherwise, it seems to all be here and working. Aside from all the other stuff that is happening with the fan in the back here, there's also another AVC fan up front here, which I'm going to be replacing soon with some other fan. It actually grabs power from the Molex cable, well, from a Molex adapter up in the big wire tucked mess next to the drive cage, which is removable, by the way. There's a 3rd pin there that I did not use. I just kind of coiled it up there so that I had it in case I were to use this in another machine and need to monitor the fan speed. Speaking of more fans, there's obviously the one up in here in the Evercool 5 1/4 to well, 2 5 1/4 to 3 3.5. So I actually have this set up in a 2 3.5 setup right now to get more air past the 500 gig. The one underneath it is another, I believe that's my C8 750 gig that I do not like. It's just a hard drive, though, because whatever. Let's go up front here, and I'm going to turn on the lights some more with the flashlight. Here's the front of the Evercool thing. It's a little bit dusty because I kind of didn't really dust it out when I put it in here. The hub thing is just a thing in there. Nothing all too special to look at. And go down here and, oh, there's 2 fans. What's up with the 2 fans, huh? Well, the top fan is actually slower than the bottom fan. However, they're both hooked up to 12 volts. The one on the bottom is a much thicker, as you can see, fan from an older Athlon cooler of some manner, an AMD Athlon cooler. Just standard AM2, whatever. The other one above is a 4-pin, and you can see from the coiled wires there I already spliced and diced some cabling to the Molex as well. And that one is from a much newer AM2, AM3, AM3 Plus, what have you, heatsink from an FX8350, which originally belonged to my brother's CPU. The one on the bottom I just kind of acquired through whatever. So that one actually pushes more air than that one does, amazingly. So I'm going to see if I can find another one of those and pop it in here, or get myself some other manner of a fan that'll fit up here that I can pop in here that's slimmed down enough, I guess. I have an 8mm around here someplace, and I'm going to have to figure out, but that's for another day. So without further ado, let me show you the last bit of sadness here, and that is there is a broken tab. So that one side does not stay on because it's missing its tab. However, the flex in the front case there is very minimal, so I'm not all too worried about it. It still looks fairly stock from the front, so long as this isn't in here. This is actually going to be removed once I move the data to the 500 gig in here, and then from there I'm going to fill up all 4 of these drive bays with something, and then this will come out. I'll be able to put the vent hole back in, and the a normal standard optical drive, which is the end game. There's going to be an optical drive in here because I need one so that I can rip CDs and stuff. And that's about it. Aside from that, there's not much else to show in here. It's a computer. It is very much a computer. I'm sorry if I went off on too much of a just a wild tangent there, but I did. So I think the next thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to power it up and show you some of what it can do, I guess. I'm just gonna kind of turn it on, and that's about it. So, oh, look at that, I got a lens cover. What am I doing this for? I shouldn't even be doing that. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I made a video. So, give me a second here, and we're going to jump. Oh yeah, I did that too. Now that's going to start up. And then it drops down. Okay, so here it is, running Unigine Valley benchmark at 1600 by 1200 with the HD 6970 in full swing on Ultra or Extreme or whatever, with anti-aliasing all the way up and all of the settings turned up all the way. Right now we are reaching about 67, 68 degrees Celsius on the graphics card itself. It's fluctuating between 67, 68, and 69, and is going up rapidly. I'm not sure if rapidly is what I call it. It's going up rather gradually. Now it's 70 degrees Celsius, 71, 72, 73, 74, now mind you, I'm not doing a thing here. I just have the camera propped up on something to show at least part of the screen. It's doing its job. Let's see what we got for quality settings in here. It's on Ultra. Settings. 8x. Full screen, no VSync. FPS counter, GPU monitor. All that stuff. Yeah, nothing all too much happening in here. So, you ready? We're going to benchmark. Click benchmark in 3, 2, 1. Benchmarking. GPU is now at 80 degrees Celsius. 81. 82. hear it ramping up as I'm going through with this. 83 degrees Celsius. Scene 13 of 18. And we're sticking around 83 right now. And scene 18. 84 degrees Celsius. And there we are. And that's it. So now we're going to open up the system here, and actually I want to go back. Hardware. Global settings, global overdrive. We're currently at 77 degrees Celsius and dropping. Bring up the fan a little bit. Cool it down some, and you can see the temperature is now dropping rapidly. I'm not all too happy with the fan curve that Radeon settings, the new one at the very least, has going for it, so I'm gonna have to look into all of that. Because I'm not overclocking, I'm just trying to figure out fan speeds to keep it nice and happy while I'm playing games and stuff, if I were to do that. Since this machine's primary purpose is to really bring me into this decade and let me play games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and a couple others that I've been hearing about from my sister's boyfriend, who does stuff with them, and not all too much I can really say past he's actually a game developer working for a large company, and that's all I can say past that. So yeah, so the system, there's nothing really all too much to it. It's just a system. That's all there is to it. And once everything comes through within the next couple weeks, I'm going to have another video, or even next couple days, depends on when the motherboard and the heatsink get here, which they're coming from different people on from eBay, and I'll have another video to pop up with this. For now, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video of this little sleeper machine I've been working on, and I'm sure that there are quite a few of you that were bored out of your mind, because I do talk a lot, and I'm sorry for that, for those of you that are not all too keen of the entire talky bit. But that was just a look into something I've been working over the past couple weeks. I had one friend of mine comment that, oh, you usually only make videos about how sick you were and stuff, and yeah, most of the time when I do have something to make a video about, I was usually sick. That hasn't really happened this winter or anything like that, so, yeah, I've been alright. I have been a little on the tired side, but that's just because things are getting a little wonky around here, and I'll, maybe talk about that a little later. For now, however, that's about it. There's not really anything else, to my knowledge, really happening. I have an X58 board that I wanted to put into this, but once I found out that I could just go get a different LG 1155 board on eBay for 40 bucks that has 4 RAM slots and does all the stuff I want, man, the next video update on this is going to be pretty cool, because aside from needing an I/O shield, which I can probably get from the manufacturer for little or next to nothing, I should be a-okay. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I will put up another video about this soon, and I'll put up another video about other things that I have on my desk that I have not yet made a video of, including that, oh, look,